Welcome to Vicious Ink. I'm Tiffany, a dark romance author, creator, and designer with a deep weakness for dangerous books and morally gray chaos. Here, we talk about dark romance, spicy romantasy, obsessive tension, wicked world building, and the stories that sink under the skin and refuse to let go. From brutal little reviews to author confessions and conversations with people haunting this corner of the book world, this is where we indulge the darker side of fiction. Welcome back to Vicious Ink, the show where dark romance, fantasy obsession, and the stories behind the people building this world collide. Tonight, we're stepping out of the page and into the kind of magic readers dream about when the final chapter closes and real life feels a little too plain. Because sometimes loving books is not just about reading them. Sometimes it's about finding the people who speak your language, the places that feel like home, and the spaces where fantasy gets to breathe in the real world. And this guest knows exactly how to build that kind of world. She's the founder of Storybook Soirées, a creator of immersive bookish events, fantasy balls, and reader retreats designed for people who have always longed to belong somewhere a little more enchanted. From being a self-described closet reader to building a thriving community for fellow book lovers alike, she's turned private passion into something bold, beautiful, and shared. So if you've ever wished your reading life could spill past the page and into something tangible, glittering, and unforgettable, this one is for you. Please welcome Hillary Holmes of Storybook Soirées. Hillary, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. First, that intro was stellar. Like I want to go meet myself all over again hearing through that.
Thank you. I try very hard with those. I really enjoy being able to hype up the people that I care about. And Storybook Soirées is definitely one that knows how to do it right, if you don't mind me saying. Like, damn.
Thank you. No, thank you so much. We started our first fantasy ball, like big scale ball, was almost one full year ago. We just passed our 1 year anniversary, and we just live for that opportunity to create those immersive experiences, large scale, small scale. We want to make sure that every detail is taken care of so that our guests feel it from the moment they step in the door.
That's awesome. And for so many of us out there, our first fantasy ball is usually like that. We're hooked after that. That's like
100%. You
the,
find your people.
yeah, it's like once you go to one, you will never ever be thinking about anything else ever again. That's the thing. And what was your very first, your experience? Like, how did you get started into doing this?
This is probably not, I mean, it's a funny story. I wanted tickets to a fantasy ball and they sold out. I did not get to go.
No, I
Having a
hate that.
hospitality background, working in creating events for other people, running through the hospitality industry, I looked at my best friend and I said, I'm going to do my own. I couldn't get in, I'm just going to do my own. And of course, as the supportive bestie that she is, she's like, let's go. And
We're
we
going to
did.
support the Delulu lifestyle and we're just
Yeah,
going to
she
roll
for
with
sure
this.
was like,
Yes.
okay. So we built a budget, we viewed venues, we coordinated string quartets and aerialists, and basically put everything that I would ever hope or dream or want to see in a fantasy ball into my very first one, being my own hosted event.
And that's a lot. Like that is a lot to go and decide to do. And you're the way that I imagine like immersive events, and I've been to several of them.
Yeah.
There's so much that goes into it. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna throw a party. It is so much, from figuring out food to figuring out the entertainment to finding the venue to all of that. Like, how long does it take you to plan an event of that scale?
Um, so planning an event of this scale is months of work. Great news is a lot of times you can get that outline and your budget ready. Once you've confirmed a date, a venue, and the core theme, it's easy to start releasing sneak peeks to our guests or to our audience around what we're going to be creating and where it will be, and continue to finalize the smaller details. Having that budget first, though, is key because you know what you can actually do. For me, an average event now probably only takes about 1.5 to 2 months to really get all the contracting done that we need to do. But there's always going to be things that are coming near the end, whether it's last second decorations, it's building things, it's cementing flights for individuals who are coming in. But venue, food, and beverage are definitely my top three, like first items to do. And then pull after I've come up with a theme because I have a million themes in my head all the time to say, all right, this is the one, this is where we're going with it. And then cast. I think our cast is always really crucial. We've had cast at our last two events, and they really help create the immersion and the atmosphere because they are bringing the story to life for everybody else who's walking in the room.
And how many cast members do you usually have at one of these events?
Our first event, we had eight. And then
Wow.
for FrostFire coming up in May, I actually have 10. I wasn't sure I originally wanted to have a cast at all, but when I kept diving into the story and what we're creating, I was like, I really, really need it because we're building an entirely new original story with our guest. And the story is not finished. Our guests have to help us finish it. But in order to step into the story, those other characters have to be in play and ready to send you and talk with you around what's happening, where they are, and help you as a guest decide where the ending of this night is going to go.
So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure.
Not only choosing your adventure, but you're actually deciding the fate of the Ice Queen herself at the FrostFire Ball. So,
Awesome.
short story for you of the event itself. Our premise, and it is being written into a novella for our guests as well. The Ice Queen, Elena, has had a lot of loss. Her heart is frozen. And so she is ruling as this ice cold queen. She's frozen out the lands. There's no food, there's no resources. People within the castle maybe aren't seeing this. And the question is she frozen? Like, is she beyond saving? Do we have to overthrow her? Or is there a spark that we can create together and bring to life and like thaw her? So the story component does have our ice court, our courtiers, our generals, there's a, agent on her side, but there's also the fire rebels. They've been working behind the scenes. They have a hidden sanctuary that you do need to locate. Like it is a hidden area inside of the actual venue that they're going to be hanging out and hiding out, and they're going to try to persuade you on overthrowing versus saving her. And our guests will be voting. And then there's a peak time for us. It's going to be just after 9 p.m. We get all the votes in. Based on how our guests have led us throughout the evening, we'll have this epic conclusion.
That is amazing. That the fact that there's so much that goes into just the storytelling element of it,
Oh, yeah.
that's incredible. Who came up with the idea and like the storyline?
Me, I
Good
had help.
job.
Yay! I shot out the premise into the great ether that is the internet and said, I have this idea. I'm going to host this ball. I know that I need an ice queen and a rebel leader for sure. I don't know what other characters I need. Who do you think? What would you want to be? And I opened up, I had very open casting. People could send me direct messages, they could post a video, and I had 63 people apply to work with me. I
Wow.
interviewed over 50 of them then to settle on 10. It was so hard. There's so much amazing, talented people everywhere. I mean, guys, girls across the board, they, them, she, her, he, him, everybody. And I was like, there's a whole story here. We have characters that I did not have in the original like idea that have joined into this story based on the original character creations of other people. We've shared licensing, they've shared their visions with us. We're now doing character art on top of the novella and built their backstories. And as a collective team, as a cast, we have co-written scenes together on background, historical context between characters, things that happen between them. And it helps them to continue to provide more story in the moment when we're at the ball itself, as well as give some, context as you show up and you're like, wow, why do these two have like, why do they hate each other so much? Or like, why is this one in love with that one? What's happening? You get those behind the scenes spots that our cast really co-created.
That is incredible. And what an experience. Like for you especially, I'm sure like to walk in there and get to see all of this just come to life and to get to see the people coming in and being like, wow, this is, I know for me as somebody that goes and
Yeah.
I walk into an event space and I'm just like blown away when I see all this work and I see all of this art. And that's really what it is. You feel like you're
It
walking
is. It's living
into a
art.
piece of art. It's incredible.
No, it is living art. It is an arts event experience. I always tell people who ask about it, like, yes, you can see the pictures and you can experience like visually what's happening, but being in it is a completely different emotional, mental high. It's this opportunity to find people like yourself and just be and like bring out that 13-year-old girl that or guy that wants to live that dream. Be a part, be the main character. Just this is your chance. And everybody around you is 110% supportive of it. You will never find a more supportive community.
I can't agree more with that. I've definitely found like my absolute bestest best friend right now. We met almost 2 years ago now at a fantasy event, and she literally like pulled me aside and was literally like, "You're my bestie from now on, and this is it."
Forevermore.
And we have been inseparable ever since then, and it's the coolest thing. What would you say is some of the misconceptions about fantasy events like this?
I think the biggest misconception is that you can't come alone. I want people to feel empowered to show up as a solo individual and know you're going to make friends. You don't
Yeah,
have to come with a crowd. You don't have to come with a group of girls or friends. There are people coming alone. I think the second one is that guys don't want to be there.
yeah,
Men love coming to these events.
yep.
One of my friends met his girlfriend at my event because he came solo, because he wanted to do it. He wanted to be there and part of it. And there are so many amazing cosplay opportunities or even
Oh
just
yeah.
dress wear for men that people are often like skipping, like, oh, where are the ball gowns? I'm like, yeah, guys get really cool wings and they get awesome
Mm-hmm.
like holsters and leather jackets. Like men look great in like timely themed apparel, and all those guys that are playing D&D, they enjoy a good LARP, they want to step up and be the knight in shining armor or the druid or the warlock of their dreams, that their character they play all the time, that's a part of them too.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because my one of my biggest portions of my business is making fantasy gowns for people. But at this point, I'm making more men's garments and men's
Yes.
gear. That's the number one thing people are asking for is men's stuff, and it's the coolest thing to get to get that in the DM. And I'm like, I get to make men's outfits now. This is so cool. I get to
I
help
love
them dress
it
up.
because they want to do it too, and I think that's a big misconception, is that guys don't want to dress up. Guys want to dress up.
Yeah, and what's sexier than that? I think it's really
I know.
sexy.
Yeah. My husband dressed up for me at our last event we went to, and I was like, he.
Yes, yes, I
But he
love
did it all
that.
on his own. So I was like, I didn't ask him. And of course, but he was like, I bought this outfit. I was like, oh.
Good job. See, we love that. Men, you don't just go. Just
Yeah.
go. Don't be afraid. You're not going to be made fun of. You are going to be the highlight of the night. Trust me. Just go.
Yeah. You're gonna love it too.
And what kind of like in terms of books, because all of us love to read. That's why we go to these things. What are
Mhm.
some of the things that inspired you to? I mean, obviously ACOTAR for sure, but what are what are the ones that really inspired you to kind of get into all of this?
I'll say some of my favorite reads are probably not ball appropriate.
This is Vicious Ink. We talk about everything
Oh,
from the
oh yeah.
BDSM
But I
to
was
kinky
like,
books. We're good.
oh, and I love them. But I was like, man, if I put that on a ball in a ballroom, I would be at maybe like the right kind of crowd. I do think that romanticy books play a big factor, and I do enjoy them. I do like mine to have some spice to them as well.
Yes.
But it's definitely that combination. You can't have romance without the fantasy, and you can't have the fantasy without romance. Like they have to be together. They've got to be building it up. I actually, ACOTAR was not one of my first reads. It was a book that my friend, that same bestie who told me, yes, we're going to do this event, begged me to read for years. And I finally picked it up. And now we're hosting an ACOTAR 6 midnight release party, like a big ball, because it is a great series. And Sarah J. Maas is a phenomenal author. I haven't finished Throne of Glass. Nobody come at me.
I haven't. I haven't either. It's okay.
Okay, great. Everything together. I've read the first like four or five, and I was like, I was actually prepping for a trivia night for Quicksilver, and I was like, I need to put this down because I need to go read Quicksilver, and I just haven't picked it back up. But I do like to read the darker romance. I do like to read some of the fancy romance. I'm actually reading a mafia romance right now.
Nice.
I run the gauntlet, though. I think that anything fictional, occasionally a good thriller mixed in, definitely mood reading, but
Hmm.
romantasy inspires fantasy balls. And that's the story that we bring to FrostFire. That's what we brought to our Night Court Revelry last year. That's definitely part of the vibe of the reader retreats. It's all that romantasy, investing in it.
Yes. And speaking of reader retreats, what's the difference for those who have never been to one or even knew that reader retreats exist? They do, and they're amazing.
I love them.
What is the main difference between like a reader retreat and what can people expect there versus a fantasy ball?
Our typical reader retreat is 3 or 4 nights. You're coming in on night one. There's always like some sort of welcome activity and dinner to get to know the other people staying with you. Sometimes people will know each other in advance. Sometimes you've just met. We always have like a Discord so people can chat ahead of time. You don't like feel like an awkward. Everybody's so welcoming. So number one, you are going to leave with more book besties than you ever thought you would have in your life. They will continue to talk with you. You will find yourselves meeting up at events later. We've got multiple, re-attending guests or people who are meeting at balls again and again. I see them taking photos together because they met at a retreat. We bring a welcome bag, all the planned activities, food, beverage, accommodations. You just show up and exist, basically, when you come to one of our reader retreats. Your bag is customized for you based off of a preference sheet you fill out for me, as well as all of your like dietary needs, any allergens, all the important stuff. So that when you arrive, the mornings are yours. You can sleep in. You can wake up, grab a cup of coffee, and just read quietly for an hour or two. You can go sit on the pool, the patio, the hot tub. We always have great places for it. And each of our retreats is actually themed to connect with either a large scale fantasy ball that we're joining or some other event that we're doing during our time. We did one last year that was very much pirates and
Nice.
I know I'm trying to like how else to describe this one. We make you do activities you wouldn't necessarily do on your own. Like we went to a blacksmith and we all forged our own blades as one of our activities.
That's
And
cool.
every one of these phenomenal women got to take home a custom knife that they built with their own 2 hands while a blacksmith growled at us.
That's cool. I want to go. That's
It was
fun. Oh
awesome.
my God.
And so, like this next one that we're going to in the end of May, we're joining for a night in Ithaca. So we're actually taking an 1800s sailboat out for this day activity, and then we have a beach day and like themed dinners before we go to this night in Ithaca. And we're dressing as gods and goddesses and like going to this epic party as part of it. But again, it's everything. Every single day, there's an activity, there's crafting, there's again downtime, there's trivia, there's a lot of in the water. Apparently we like pool parties. We have a mermaid swim that happens to this last one. Like everybody's got like tails and I'm like, great, I will bring out snacks and you'll mermaid swim, play games, just literally hang out in the water for hours with each other.
That is awesome. The fact that you do these ones that are traveling and you're going abroad and things like that, how do you plan for something like that? Like, are you just sitting there and scrolling and you're like, okay, what part of the world have I always wanted to see? And this
Where do
is
I want
what
to
we're
go?
doing now. We're going to Ithaca.
All right, I have. I love to travel. I didn't get to start traveling until I was in my early 20s. I grew up incredibly, incredibly poor. So I that was one of the things I always wanted to do. So I actually take my own children, I have 2 kids, on at least one international trip every year because I want them to get to experience and see the world beyond the white suburbs that we live
Yeah.
in. I'm like, please, there's more than suburban America in like I
Yes.
want you to get out. So my kids have passports, they have lots of stamps. We actually just had to renew, and we want them to explore. And I was like, who else would love this exploration? You talk about diving into an adventure and going to a new place and living out that fantasy or romantasy dream. That's not in my own backyard. It is, taking that adventure. It's going out there somewhere. And we do things locally-ish. Like, obviously our 6 ball, that Pigeon Forge in like Tennessee is where we did that knife forging activity and the pirates dinner. So it's not always big and bold, and we try to make sure that we're hitting that budget that makes sense for people who can take that, getaway in that weekend, um, without sacrificing anything that they wouldn't want to have included. Like be involved, be immersed, and know that you're stepping away from all of your responsibilities. You don't have to cook, you don't have to clean, you don't have to answer the phone, you don't have to like take care of kids, husbands, nothing. Like just you get to be and you're taken care of.
That's incredible. And I love that you talk about like the traveling aspect and getting your kids out there and all that kind of I have three kids of my own. I've my 16, a 13 and a 10 and we do the same thing like once a
Oh,
year. You cannot just see America. You need to
yeah.
see and get that cultural experience. And I feel like a lot of times, especially as moms, we put ourselves on the back burner.
Always.
And these types of events, at least me speaking for myself, these types of events that take you
They're for me.
out and you do all of the other things, and you get together with a group of people that enjoy the same type of it's an experience that, trust me, give it to yourself.
Yes.
Go have that fun. Go do it.
Yeah, just take that first trip, and it's similar to the fantasy ball experience of you're gonna take it and you're like, this was the greatest thing you ever gifted to yourself or that your spouse gifted to you. I had one lady that she told me that the she had shared it and she was like, I really want to do this. And her husband gifted her that experience to come and join us and like booked flights and stuff for her to come because you do want to be able to take that big next step and take that experience. Also, I didn't realize our kids were so close in age. Mine are 12 and 17.
So you understand, we're in the boat. We're in it.
Yeah.
It's
We're
crazy
there. We're there. Teaching kids how to drive is challenging and nerve-wracking.
and terrifying. It's so terrifying. Oh, we're
It's
we're
all
we're
those
there. We're there.
things. All those things at once.
So with now that you have like the Ithaca and everything, do you do the travel abroad ones? Is that like a once a year, or does it take like more planning than like a traditional ball?
It definitely does take more logistical planning to do larger ones. Our goal is to do 4 retreats a year, but try to keep three of them here in the States, make it a lot easier because we don't want to be like overextending ourselves. I do have a full-time job outside of this. And then 1 to 2 large-scale fantasy balls. As well as we do smaller events. Like we did a Boo and Books Halloween pop-up. We had authors come and do signings, and we painted doormats as a like activity.
Oh, that's
Those are
fun.
easy, those are quick, those take, a good week of coordinating different people's schedules, planning, and then you just show up and have a great time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So for all of your events that you do, so is it usually like do you try to do a little small event like for the seasons or is it pretty much every month? Like what does your typical schedule look like?
Our small events are not quite on a monthly like flow yet. We've managed to find like either holidays or events to kind of connect with. We're working toward one as baseball season kicks off. It's like, everybody loves a good baseball book and girls can hang out and watch baseball, but we have author panels
Nice.
connected to it. So we're just trying to find different unique things that are happening to pull those together.
Nice. And with the Frost and Fireball, so I know with a lot of these events, you have things like authors and things like that that are
Yeah.
usually there. Typically, there's an author's booth or an author's like marketplace sort of thing with
Mhm.
vendors and whatnot. How many authors do you usually have that go to the Frost or go to your balls, and how many will be at the Frost and Fire event?
So, FrostFire, we have 15 signing authors, and then we have an additional 16 or 17. I have one who's like on the fence of confirming my last spot. Vendors who are all bookish, handmade artisans, whether it's clothing, apparel, paintings, handcrafted jewelry like this one, those guys will be there as well. So, our day market happens during the morning. We call it the Author and Artisans Fair before the FrostFire Ball. So it is in
Nice.
combination of what's going to be the Ice Queen's ballroom and the front lawn. We're not going to show you where the Rebel Sanctuary is during that time. So we're not putting any vendors in the Rebel Sanctuary. You're not going to find it. Our very first event, I only had like 8 because I really didn't know how big that portion would be and what my space was going to look like. Now we're doing things like flash tattoos, and it's, oh yeah, I can think this is a flash, this one's a flash. Like I got a few of
Yep.
them now because I love doing them at events. So we have 2 artists who are doing the flash tattoos during the day market. Those are just, first come, first serve. There's a sheet already out there, but it's just those little things to make it a little extra exciting. I did warn our warrior yoga friends, this is where our 9 a.m. is yoga, 10 a.m. we start the authors and artists, and they're like, you can just come on over in the warrior yoga, just put your, stick your sword somewhere safe.
That's
We're like,
awesome.
you can come in apparel, it's great. We're like, we'll just like baby wipe and then shave before you get a tattoo in case you're sweaty.
I love that. It's so funny. Like the tattoo thing has become such a big thing. At the last event that I had gone to, they had the tattoo stuff there, and so I have the Bat Boy tattoos on the back of my
Yeah.
neck, and so I rep my Bat Boys. Got to represent Cassian. We love it. We love the tattoos. I always love a
No, I
sticker.
do. Yeah, that's it. I was like, it's like a sticker, but permanent.
Yes.
And I mean, this one, when I just got this one, me and one of my friends got the same one. She has to be able to use her wrists and hands for work a lot more. So we had to like push it up a little bit. And I was like, all right, cool. We got, our little sword here.
I
That
love it.
they're simple,
Yes.
they're easy. It was like a 20-minute tattoo. I'm like, I've got much bigger ones. I was like, but these are just perfect fun. And every time I look at this, I think about how the two of us were at this event together and like we
Yeah.
bunked up. I know how we met at a fantasy event, and now we do them every couple months. We go to one together
That's awesome. I love that so much.
every
Uh,
time.
and then so you also have the event for the ACOTAR Book Six, and
Yeah.
that's for the midnight party release party. So tell me a little bit about that because I know that is going to be. I mean, when she announced it, and it wasn't
Oh,
just like, oh, it's not going to be just one
it's
book.
coming. Nope, it's two, and there's a third on the way. I'm like, yes.
That's like going like, oh, I'm pregnant, and oh, by the way, it's triplets. It's like, damn, girl, holy shit, you've been busy. Like I'm very excited about it, and it's like, how excited is everybody for your event for this
Oh,
one?
no,
Like,
absolutely. We announced it like truly like okay, venue is secured. Obviously, it's October 26th, like that night at midnight. So you get your book as you walk out the door.
yes,
As soon as we had those key details, we were like, okay, it's happening. We're gonna release the tickets. And we sold over 30% of them in the first week and a half. Like people were just like, we're coming, we're coming, we're coming. It's a new venue for us. It's called Emerald Union, but it's this beautiful stonework. They have these gorgeous chandeliers. It's 2 stories. So there's bars on both floors, and you can look from the second floor down to the like main dance floor of the first floor. But we also have 125 copies of ACOTAR 6 will be landing with us ahead of the event so that the last part of the night, last, 15, 20 minutes, team people can start lining up and we will give them their copies as they're leaving the event. So midnight release, you get your hardback copy at midnight so that you can be one of the first ones to have it. And we're thrilled about it. We're so excited. We've got again, repeat guests who came to our night court ball, and we've got new guests I've never had that chance to meet yet who have bought tickets to invest and come out for this event with us.
that is so much fun. I can't even imagine. I would probably be crying. Like I'm that person that like gets the first book when I'm just all the way. I'm hard into it. I love ACOTAR just as much as the next person. I will not forget and or forgive the friend that got me into it because there's always that, junky friend that's like, you
Oh
have
yeah.
to read this.
hmm
It's
I had one who made me read it. I was happily content reading my like 5 books a week all by
mm-hmm.
myself, not talking to anybody, not doing anything else. And she was like, "Have you read this Akatar book?" I was like, "No."
No, my friend, I'll never forget. She gave me this book and she's like, "Okay, you need to read this." And just she didn't tell me anything else.
Nope, mine didn't either.
And every day, or we met at the gym like twice a week, and so every time that we'd see each other, she'd be like, "So what do you think?" And I'd be like, "I am so in love with Tamlin. Oh my
Like
God,
he's so
Tamlin, Tamlin,
great.
Tamlin." And she would just be sitting there like, "No, no."
But we see everyone go through it. My stepmother-in-law has picked, I handed her the copy and I was like, just text me updates. Every time I'm like, how is it going?
It's
But
so
I
mean.
won't
It's
say
so much
anything.
fun, but it's so mean too. At the same
But you're
time,
like,
you're just
but you
like,
can't say anything. Like, everybody needs to experience that journey on their own.
it's like handing over a toxic ex. Like you just, it's so
Like,
mean.
but I mean, think about it's the same thing for that first part of Throne of Glass. You're like, oh, who do you like more? And
Yep.
you're like,
Yep,
okay.
yep, yep. I think that's what makes it so much fun is everybody has that story of going from Tamlin to Rysand, and then eventually everyone makes it to Cassian. And I know everyone's going to do that probably with Asriel because
Yeah.
It's gonna
He's
happen.
gonna she's going to write a fabulous story for him, and we're gonna see all that depth that we were starting to glimpse in Silver Flames and later on. I mean, just his protective nature of Feyre already. We're like, oh, we see him like nobody's, watch how you talk about my High Lady. Like, oh,
I know it's gonna be great. Do you have in your Discord right now? Is there any kind of like theories going around about what the new book is gonna be about or what's gonna happen?
I haven't seen as many surface yet as I expect to start surfacing shortly. I think a lot of people have started their rereads. We've been discussing that, like, okay, who's starting? Are you doing a full, like, see, everything reread, or just ACOTAR? And like, how do you time it out? But I did make a channel, and I was like, all right, this is the acceptable spoiler, like thrill, theories channel. A lot of our other times when we do a book or we're reading things, we always mark it and we like black it out so that we like, okay, no, don't ruin it. But I was like, all right, this one is go for it. Just what is your ideas? Where is it going? Like, let's get all the chaos theories rolling.
I like that. And that's another good point too. Is like a lot of these fantasy events and whatnot, the discords I feel like help so much because it's where you get connected afterwards. That's the
Oh,
in between. It's how you kind of carry it forward because you end up with the drop. It's like the withdrawal syndrome when
mhm.
wait, I need more.
Like,
Where's
wait. Oh, Eric,
my people?
I call it a hang. It's like a fantasy ball hangover. But it's worse than a real one because it doesn't just you can't just cure it. Like it lingers until you're like, oh, what do I do now? Okay, when's the next one? You like get that going. We also see a lot of like outfit and inspiration happening through our Discord and chats through there. We've been talking through our different casting characters or talking in the channels as well, but we definitely label them so people know what they're getting into when they open up a different a different channel.
And do you see a lot of people that make their own costumes, or what's kind of the ratio that you see between people that are kind of doing the handmade versus people that are doing like the designer stuff or going out and putting things together? What do you see?
It's definitely this hybrid mix. We have a few phenomenal seamstresses, and I've seen people just like I can barely sew a straight line, so I'm always in awe when I see people coming up with stuff. But we also have a few who will like get that core and then tweak and customize to make it their own, whether it's, bedazzling, it's adding different other components or pieces and like pulling together a unique look versus just finding or buying. But I do love seeing people create custom pieces with the help of like someone like yourself who can actually sew like I can't, and being like, I collaborated to create this beautiful dress for myself, but this person's gonna like own the actual crafting of it, and then the pride people have showing off their outfits. But I've seen people tell me that a week before they were wandering around a thrift store or a mall and or somewhere where like prom dresses were on sale and were like, I found this stunning purple dress and
Yes.
I'm ready. And I was like, good for you. Just throw on a tiara and let's go.
I love that. The thrifted ones are always my favorite. Like honestly, out of everything. I sew and I do all this stuff, but when I see somebody walk in and it's like a stunning gown, and I'm like, where the hell did you get that? And they're
I
like,
know.
oh, I thrifted. And I'm like, the fuck? I have a hard enough time going and finding like a toothbrush at a store, and you can
Yeah.
go and just you find
Like,
this
what
like
what thrift store are you at that has these? I mean, we have like one that I know of that's in middle of prom season around us right now that's doing a ton of like crazy, prom and similar dresses. But one of my friends did the same. She came and she showed up wearing this like gorgeous emerald green dress. And I was like, where'd you find? She's like, well, it was actually a wedding dress that I thrifted and I dyed it. And I was like, well, you look stunning. Like this I would have never looked at that and been like wedding dress. I was like, it's like lace and it's green. It's got this train. I'm like, and she's like, yeah, I just dyed it in my kitchen. I'm like, okay.
it's like that feeling of like hate pride for your friend. Like,
Yeah. I'm like,
mm. So
it's
rude,
okay.
so rude.
I get to own the book while they can have the dress.
Yeah, by the way, for everybody listening to the podcast right now, she has this incredible book wall that is insane. Like if you can imagine just walking into like Alice in Wonderland and it's this gorgeous like books everywhere spread open, but it also has all of these gorgeous handmade roses, mind you, that are all behind it. It's absolutely stunning. And Did you say that you have a tutorial up for this thing?
I I did. So this book wall is 8 by 8 because it was a backdrop for one of my first events. I have since brought it to, I'm going to be bringing it to my next one. I just throw it in the back of a U-Haul very safely, very carefully. I don't just actually throw it. But it took many, many hours of my living room floor with this large 4 by 8 pieces of plywood, ripping the book, stapling them through. So we did record some of the making process, including the roses, which to make my roses pop, I actually use colored highlighters on the edges of the different roses. Otherwise, sometimes they're built out of book pages. That's what makes this book wall so fantastic. It just helps to make them pop. Same things like there's little baby leaves. They just got little green edges from highlighters. That's it for the color. It is just this vibe of being like, man, these books.
I love it though. I feel like there's so much creativity in this space, and I get inspired all the time by people in this space. Like, and I also have ADHD, so whenever I see somebody that inspires me, aka somebody like you, and I'm instantly like, I am about to go and buy all these things right now and go make this. And but it's also done in like I mean it in the best possible way. It's the coolest thing to see so much of that and so much inspiration within the community itself and the hype that everybody gives each other. I've personally never felt that in any other community or group of people that I've ever been in. Do you see that like in the community as well?
Yes, yes, 100,000%. I know it's not a real number, but it is now. We see not only is the community so supportive of one another in the way that people embrace and create the art, but people feel empowered to do so and to share it. I've never seen people like as supportive and encouraging as the book community is across Book Talk or Bookstagram. I also have a large amount of the ADHD. So things like character art for my FrostFire, like I've never shown off my drawings to anyone ever before. And people were talking about it. And I was like, okay, like I'm actually sharing my character art so that people can see, like, not only do we have these real people who are the OCs, but here's this art that we're gonna, pair with it. So you can have this. I've never shared writings before. I've done events because events feel safe to me. I know some people think about an event and they go, oh man, that's expensive and it's a lot of planning and it's organizing and responsibility. And if you have to be the right person and the right kind of mentality type to be ready to take on this kind of massive event for sure.
I definitely have to agree. And I think when it comes to people that are going to these events, and I've certainly had people talk to me before about when they see an event pop up and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so expensive. And yeah, some of them can be for sure, but you also have to know what you're paying for and what you're getting into, because a $100 event is very different from a $500 ticket. And is it a multi-day? Is it a single day? Is it a con that is coming with a ball? Is it just a con? Is it just a ball? There's so many different tiers that can also go along with it. And is it including a retreat? And then you have your ball ticket on top of that. And there's so many different things. And I feel like not enough, at least new people who are coming in.
Yes.
Can you kind of give a little bit of your experience in terms of like what those differences sort of look like?
No, I mean, you nailed it. I think the best thing anybody who's looking at ball tickets can do, or event tickets, we'll just go with event, that way we get cons and balls and treats all in, is to dive into those inclusions and understand what it is they're paying for. I did hear this a lot for my first event. People were like, these ticket prices are crazy, it's way too high. We were a 250 GA, 400 VIP. And so I did a short video where I broke down like everything that's included. And I was like, all right, imagine you're going out on your own night and these are all the things that you paid for on your own. You would be spending this amount of money. But because it's part of my event, you're only spending this. Like we're actually saving you. You're not paying for a private photographer. I've already got that. You're not paying for a 360 photo booth, for live aerialists. I was like, circ performers, string quartets, DJs. We did 30-foot LED walls at my first event. So they were the night sky since it was the night court on each side of our main stage. And they were massive, like pieces. Then I was like, okay, if you're a VIP guest, not only is that, but you're coming in early. You have this swag bag filled with goodies from our vendors. and you have a private lounge with an open bar, and they had a contortionist in their lounge, like totally different experience. When I look at an event that's like that $125, $150 ticket price, I'm expecting either a more intimate, smaller group, smaller venue, and I might be paying for some things myself, like the bar. I'm probably buying my own drinks, that $100, $125 range. If I'm looking at that $450, $500 ticket, I should have drinks. Maybe there's a dinner included, or as you mentioned before, it's multi-day. FrostFire for us, our first multi-day event because it starts Friday night with the Nowhere to Wear This party that's held at a local brewery. Then you've got the day market, the fantasy ball, and brunch Sunday. But there's little optional things like warrior yoga sprinkled in because we were like, we want it to be a little bit longer. We felt like one night wasn't enough for us.
Yes.
But it's very much a what are you getting? What's included? The venue, the food, the beverage, the either cast or live performers are usually some of the highest costs for someone creating the event, like on the organizer side. The most expensive event I created was $130,000. Was like that was my out of pocket to just create the event. That's why I said that budget. It's so
Hmm.
important because it can go crazy. And if you, as an organizer, we've seen this happen in the community, and it's tragic every time. Don't plan or have the finances up front to pay for an event, there's no way, like, you can't rely on ticket sales to fund it. You've got to be prepared to pay for it and be ready to execute it, even if you don't sell enough tickets to cover the cost. And know that what you're putting out there for the community is going to, hopefully, if you're doing this as long-term business, it's going to keep building and you're going to find more and more community. You're going to be able to create more events and you will get past that losing money break even to actually like creating something sustainable. But it can be a lot. But then again, you can
Definitely.
also plan for, I said our ACOTAR 6, it's only 125 people. We have a much more intimate venue. We are not doing a full dinner at this event. It's going to be from 7 to midnight. Like we're telling people, hey, you're going to have some heavy snacks. You're still going to have a couple drinks included, but we're not doing full dinner for this event because we want to keep it approachable. And you're getting the hardcover copy of the book. That's, a portion of the cost in there as well.
That's a really good point. With I think a lot of people don't stop. They hear the ticket price, but they don't
Yeah.
hear the big number of the full thing and what somebody is actually having to put out there. It's a huge amount of undertaking, and that's not even including usually the backdrops. For example,
Oh,
like when you're
yeah.
not renting the backdrops, a lot of people are making the backdrops, like the one that you have behind your yeah. It's so much more, and you're not getting
All
paid
the
by the
time.
hour for that. Something that it's a passion that you're pouring into it. It's your own time, your own energy. And it's something that I feel like needs more attention because people don't really stop to think about that. And once you really do, it's like, that price is actually a pretty damn good deal.
I told one person early on, I was like, imagine the greatest, coolest wedding you ever went to merged with like that most elaborate prom. And that's kind of what we create and bring to life. I was like, because it's not built for one couple, it's built for
Yeah.
everybody to be that main character energy. You're also getting that immersive experience like you do when you have like a themed event like that prom or, in this case, the Frost and Fire, but it's that per person price of a wedding. It's that, it cost me 350, 500 depending on the event, like or more to actually create it. So there's where we kind of build that foundational piece. I do love that you called out all the different backdrops and the different components. One of the things that we've built, and I can't wait to put up for people for our Ice Queen, is she actually has massive, like 3 foot tall icicles that are hanging off of her balcony where she's talking to people from the balcony. And like my husband would probably like, what are you doing in our garage? So I
Oh
was
no.
building them because she has a large balcony and she's got to talk to people. And in the book, I reference that every time she, when she's touching or holding the balcony, that like the ice just accumulates underneath that balcony if she glares out at things. So I have these massive icicles so people can
Oh
see it
my
because it's on the second
gosh.
floor to be on there. In addition to things like the book wall, or we have this like snow tunnel and these giant, I mean, I built them out of wood, like 2 foot tall snowflakes and different components because that's what creates the immersive. You have to feel like you're in the kingdom of either whatever book or whatever creation that you're in. It's more than just, oh, I put some drapery up. Like it's gotta be immersive.
Yeah. No, I'm so excited for everything that you have going on. I'm also super jealous. Like I should have grabbed tickets when I could. It's like that is so cool. And it's for everybody out there, I highly recommend that if you have never been to a fantasy event, if you've never been to an immersive ball, if you've never done something like this, and whether you are a bookish person or you're into D&D or you're just into going to Ren fairs, for example, like if you're somebody that loves to go to Ren fairs, you would absolutely be somebody that would enjoy going to a fantasy event like this. It's worth going to, even if you just get the GA ticket. Go and just have that experience. Go by yourself, go with a friend, find a group, go on the Discord, make friends, and then go. It's very much worth at least jumping in because once you do, you will be bitten by the bug and you will never stop thinking about going to your next one, I promise.
No, it is true. And look at those tickets, look at the organizer, check out their past events if they have them. Like, make sure obviously that you're going to an epic
Yes,
event. Like, there are phenomenal organizers, so many amazing ones that exist out there. And if you don't know where to start, you can literally just type into Instagram your hometown or some local city near you, fantasy ball, and I guarantee stuff will pop up.
absolutely, absolutely. And if you aren't sure, I always recommend that people go to like their Instagram page and then go to the section where it shows who has tagged them, because
Yes,
you'll get a really good vibe for everybody that has been to that event, and it's a lot more candid in
it
terms
is.
of like what the background side of things looks like. People get very candid with it, and I love to see that because then it's like, oh man, this looks epic, this looks
Yeah.
really cool, everybody's having a good time, and it's not like a sponsored thing or an influencer thing. It's
It's not just our good marketing.
exactly. But where can people go to find more information, and are there still tickets for your upcoming events and what's coming next?
Yeah, so our Instagram is Storybook Soirées LLC. I probably need to drop the LC, but it's now stuck. We also have a TikTok that's Storybook Soirées. Our website is storybooksoirées.com. I'm just getting really good at spelling the word soiree to help connect it to. So our FrostFire Ball is happening in May. So it is the weekend of May 16th. So there's a welcome party on the 15th. All day 16th, you'll be packed and full with all your new friends. We have probably 30-ish tickets left on that one. It's pretty close. And then the retreat that we're heading up, our Michigan one, is at the end of May. There's only 3 spots left on that one. I'm very excited for it before we head toward ACOTAR 6 in October. We do keep our Instagram really updated. I am on there constantly feeding questions. Our Discord links are on our website and our welcome emails. And then every time we post and share new events, I'm always just like shouting them out and I'm promoting them.
That's awesome. Well, I thank you so much for jumping on here and chatting fantasy and the events. I hate going to these things. They're just so,
I,
not much
I don't
fun,
understand why I
right?
just love dressing up and doing this. Like, gosh, I am so appreciative that you let us come on and share and talk a little bit about what we're doing here. I mean, Nashville based, but we spread all over because
Hey,
fantasy is
everybody, we're
wherever we
willing
are.
to travel. Like all of us,
Yeah.
that's the other cool thing is when you go to these fantasy events, you will meet people from all over the US, from all over the world. Like
Oh,
I've met people, my best friend, I'm here in Los Angeles. She lives in Arizona.
yeah.
And this is like we travel back and forth now because we can't get enough of each other.
Yep.
So people travel all over the place for these things. You will meet people that you never in a million years thought you would have the opportunity to meet. It's a beautiful thing.
Have crown, will travel. You got this. Like,
Yep.
find, and you're gonna find your people. You will find your people so fast. I love that you connected so well. I got a new friend just like it. We've been going to events together for a year, and we're texting each other constantly and sharing things because this is how you find the people just like you. They're introverted in real life, or if you're extroverted in real life, when you get to the fantasy ball, you're all the main character and everybody is welcomed. I don't know how many times I've been with a small group, like a retreat, and we've ended up adopting other solo people that we found and be like, you're part of our group now. Come join us.
That is literally like my philosophy in life. Life is too short to not be the main character in your own story.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Thank you again so much for letting me come on and join you today and talk about Storybook Soirées.
Thank you. And if you have a little bit of time, would you mind jumping on to Viciously Bitten,
Yes.
my subscriber only section, and let me grill you with a couple of spicier questions?
Fire away. I'm so excited. Let's go.
Awesome. So, for those of you who are my lovely and amazing Substack subscribers, you guys are the ones that help to keep all of my content up and going. Please head on over to Substack and come listen to Viciously Bitten, where I'm going to be asking some more spicy questions. And for everybody else, please read something vicious.